All right, and we are live again. Okay, let's give it a few minutes for people to join. We'll be starting shortly, everybody. This is going out on YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, I believe, and also gets turned into a podcast as well. And as you can see, we have two guests joining me. They've joined the Tokenmetrics team. We have Paresh Masani and Raphael, Comte, and you guys will have the pleasure of getting to know them over the course of the next hour. We'll be taking questions on every single platform, so it doesn't matter where you are. We should be able to get your questions, assuming our software is working. If not, then the preference is YouTube. Okay. All right, so guys, how's your weekend been so far?
Pretty good from my end.
Busy?
Pretty good actually. So just watching crypto evolving, still within the tight range for Bitcoin. So we're still actually looking into this as
man, the Bitcoin dominance is 70%. Yes. I mean, yeah. Nobody likes altcoins at all right now. I mean, it makes no sense to be in altcoins. That's kind of my take right now. But we'll have you guys share your take on that as well.
Sure.
Okay. Let me just check a few things, and then we'll go ahead and start.
Of course.
All right, okay, so let's see who's joined. Mr. Simpson in the house first, the Dark 7761. All right, okay, so we got Manoj Madan. Thank you for joining. I told you 300x. Hey, that was never me. That was the CEO of Sparkster, and yeah, that's been as you said, Spark Connect. That's been a disaster. G Flight in the building. BitMax to the moon. BTMX is killing Bitcoin. Yeah, BitMax has been doing fairly well, right? And I mean, as an investor in MetaHash, they also got listed on BitMax, so I've been keeping tabs on that. Crypto Kid in the house. Kramer in the house. Welcome. Ramsey King, hey, what's up? How are you? G Flight in the building. Okay, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for joining the live stream. This has been a long time, right? I haven't been doing live streams in a while, but now we're doing live streams again. We're trying to pick back the schedule up now that things have kind of, I guess, become more consistent with what we're doing with Tokenmetrics, right? And now we have a team here that I would like to share with you and just kind of give you guys an idea of the people that are working with me, right? As you guys know, I'm Ian Balina, obviously, right? Think of me as your host, right? Angel investor in blockchain space, cryptocurrencies, full-time for the last over 2 years now, going on 3. Pretty much just traveling the world and investing in blockchain startups. I've invested in over 60 startups, right? And we made our first equity investment through my company, 100x Advisors, right? Which is Alchemy, right? They're part of Techstars, great company, you would think. But anyway, this is not really about me. We have 2 new people on the team. right? So first up, we have Paresh Masani, all the way from London, right? How are you,
Yeah, hello
Paresh?
guys. Yeah, I'm very good, Ian. How are you?
Good, good, good. So Paresh is a blockchain developer on the Token Metrics team, right? So Paresh, please tell us more about yourself.
Sure. So let me start from my graduation. So originally I'm from India. Now I'm British citizen. So I graduated in 2004, computer science, where I have designed the C compiler as a like my major project when I
Made
didn't
a
have
compiler?
compiler design. Yeah. So
Okay.
when I didn't have access to Google. So without Google, yeah. Uh, and I always wanted to go study higher. So, I appeared in the India national level exam. It's called GATE, basically the graduate aptitude test in engineering. So it's like one of the toughest exam in India. I scored very well, like about 97%, and I was like all India rank 550 at that time. And I got after interviews and written tests on top IIT. So I got admission in IIT Guwahati and I National Institute of Technology Trichy. I did my master's in computer science from National Institute of Technology Trichy. There I scored like 98.7. I was outstanding student. I received a gold medal from APJ Abdul Kalam, who was vice president of India at that time. And yeah, at master also I did a lot of system level programming. Like I modified the Linux kernel during that time. I was trying to transfer the up running process on the one machine to other machine to do the load balancing between the Linux machines.
Okay.
I after the master, I joined DSHA, is a like New York hedge fund company in
Yeah. Wall
Hyderabad.
Street type company, Wall Street type bank.
Yes, it is. It was one of the dream come true job, at that during 2007 in India. It was like a parallel to Microsoft and Google kind of company. I worked there as a system level programmer, like about 3 years. I was working there on C, Perl, Python, and .NET, like kind of system level programming.
So pretty
Then
much you were very, very technical working in the banking space, right? And
yes,
and that's how you, in a way, discover cryptocurrencies as you're working on Wall Street with the big companies and go
yeah,
on.
yeah, I'm coming to that point now. So after working 3 years there, I moved to the UK in 2010. So since then, I have been working as a like full stack developer. So I started my job in the UK with ETX Capital, who is like market leader at the moment in trading in the UK. I was one of the core developer for mobile platform. And that's where I was introduced to Bitcoin during 2011-12, actually. And I had
So
a chance,
2011.
yeah, I had a chance to buy 1,000 Bitcoin for $400. And that is like my repent for whole life that, I didn't buy it. Yeah, so, but I was still okay because I got into the Bitcoin like during 2015 at least. It wasn't too late. Right. So, and after ETX Capital, I worked with, like very big investment banks in the UK, like Barclays and Goldman Sachs. And my last contract was.
So quick question for the audience. I mean, for you to
Mhm.
answer for the audience out there. What's it like working for Barclays Bank or Goldman Sachs?
Yeah, so at Goldman Sachs and Barclays, I was executive director there. So on top of delivering, technically being very solid and delivering the result in given deadline is absolutely critical. But on top of that, as being executive director, you need to handle a lot of other responsibilities as well. Like I was in global investment research department there, so like making a strategic decisions for the department. Like whenever you're doing something, you don't think as an individual contributor, rather You think in terms of like firm contribution, how you can contribute to the firm on the long.
That's very crucial, right? So you said you were part of the research department?
Yeah, global investment research.
Global investments research department at Goldman Sachs. How long was that for?
I think it was about 3 years as well.
So 3 years there. And what kind of investments were you making?
No, I wasn't making investments.
I'm sorry.
I was a developer there.
What kind of things were you researching in?
Yes, I was part of the team who were developing the software for research analyst, actually. So one of the I can tell you, like the software that is like research publishing platform we call, right? So basically they can write documents, right, when they are traveling or when they are conferencing or something like that.
Okay, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, most of the things are very confidential, so I can't, go into much detail.
Yeah.
Any of those.
But for the audience out there, right? I mean, one of the main reasons we brought you on the team, right, was to prevent sparksters from happening, right?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Because the first thing we had was have you do a code review on Sparkster, and you're like, this is a piece of shit. And we're like, wish we had you 1 year ago. Right? So can you maybe share with us how I guess technical you go into when you're doing research?
Yes, basically I joined Token Metrics, and we have defined criteria now, right, at the Token Metrics, that we see a list of things like innovation, the coding standards, right, like a GitHub repository, team, and in the white paper, and I make sure that I go through the white paper and what they are saying in the white paper, right, they are actually doing in the coding wise. I tried their testnet as well if it is available. Mainly like the last I did the Blockstack review, which was amazing project. I have done like a thorough review technically.
We'll cover Blockstack on this live stream, right?
Yes.
Blockstack and Facebook Libra, because we know people have a huge interest in those projects right now. And guys, as usual, this is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. We're now a regular publication for token analysis and research, right? Okay, all right. We'll continue. So after Goldman Sachs, where'd you go to?
Yes, Goldman. I left Goldman to be a full-time contractor. So I have been working as a consultant, and I also got into the blockchain a little bit more, where I had my personal project as well. I worked as an iOS architect at JP Morgan as well. So that was a short term. That's the last contract I had.
Okay. Now, what were you doing at JP Morgan? You were doing the Quorum blockchain, right? Can you kind of share with us, with the community, what kind of stuff? Whatever you can share, whatever that's public.
Yeah, I mean, it is super confidential. I can't say anything, but it was iOS architect role, basically. I was hired to do very specific tasks by Virtusa. So Virtusa was my actual employment, and Virtusa has a client as a JP Morgan. They hired me to, be a iOS architect for one of the application.
Okay.
And the thing is, the future is not clear about that, so I can't, tell it's not live. If it is public, I would happily, say that this is the application I worked on, and people can go and have a look.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Paresh. I just kind of wanted to have the audience learn more about you, right? What hobbies do you have besides blockchain?
I like to learn blockchain. That is like one of the thing, and I'm very good chess player. My rank is like 2000 plus. I'm very good.
2000 plus in what? In the world or in
no, it's as a ranking. So like maximum you can get is like about 3200. So Anand from India is like, he's not anymore world champion, but he has like 2800.
Okay.
So I am like very chess player.
We should have you play Sam. Sam loves chess as well.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. All right. Now let's go to Raphael, all the way from France. Mon ami. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Hey guys, so thank you very much, Jan. So yes, as Jan said, so I'm French. I'm in Lyon actually. So basically, what I did is like I'm an engineer. Okay, engineers specialize in microengineering. What I did after this is that I went into the financial world. I did a master, graduated in investment banking. And then I went, I was hired by Citibank for 3 years. I worked for them so as a pricing analyst. Basically, there was securities valuation for the funds. And then I was working as a risk manager. Risk manager, well, what I was basically doing is always a very polyvalent task. What you have there is this building financial models, risk models, valuation models in order actually to help smooth things, between traders, brokers, portfolio managers. After this, I was actually working at the time on some gray boxes, black boxes, and it was the time when artificial intelligence started actually to started to go into the financial world. So, I was pretty obsessed with it, if I can say it this way. And I developed my own artificial intelligence that is based on fractals, and this is the one I've been using since. So right now, I am working as a quantitative trader. I'm trading. Okay, I have my own portfolio. I have clients, funds at the same time, and I'm working with Jan. So in order to develop the token metrics platform, I'm bringing my technical analysis and trading expertise on the project. And yeah, so I've been working for a hedge fund, Oak Hill, based in Luxembourg for a while then, and yeah, basically that was the way my life.
So tell the audience, what's it like trading crypto with AI?
Okay,
I haven't really seen many people kind of publicly talk about that.
Yeah, that's a good question actually. So basically, well, my artificial intelligence is. I'm going to make it very simple. Don't worry, guys. It's not time to go to sleep. So basically, my AI is structured like this. So we take actually the market, and we think, okay, the market is a chaotic environment, very chaotic. Okay, so it's very hard actually to try to build a model that is perfectly going to fit what the market is going to do. Okay, and it's true actually. What we have seen is that you have a lot of quantitative models that start to decay. Over time because of actually the market. They are not readjusting their own parameters to the market, despite actually some reinforced learning, machine learning, even deep learning structure. So the artificial intelligence, the fractals, the core is like this. Okay, this is a chaos. But sometimes we have some big players, okay, for institutional players, or that's when they start to invest, they create what we call a structure. Okay, there is a structure within this chaos, and this is where we see that some cash is going into the market, and we can predict it on a short term. So just to add something, I'm a day trader. Okay, I don't hold position for more than few hours. Actually, my average is about 2.5 hours. Okay, and
pretty short time.
Yes, it's very short. It's very short. But the returns are also, there's something interesting there. The returns are actually much more controllable and from much higher quality at the same time. I know people have this idea that that's just short term is equal to noise. Okay, short term is just noise. Just look at the big picture. This is where you can look things. But just think about this. Okay, for example, I'm trading crypto. Okay, I'm trading also traditional assets. Let's have a look at crypto. Once it's very hard to say where crypto is going to, where Bitcoin, Ethereum are going to be in 6 months, a year, 2 years. Okay, so holding long term, it's pretty actually pretty hard to do. Okay, but however, if you know at some time that you have some cash that are being put into the market, then you go with the flow. Then you see that actually they start pushing the price up. You take your position out and you wait to re-enter. So this is why I'm also a derivatives trader. I'm trading futures, which is basically a vehicle, contracts that allow you to go long, actually, to buy, make profit out of it, and actually to go short when you want, actually. So you can make money either if the what we call the underlying asset is going up or is going down. So this is very flexible.
Very, very interesting. Okay, so just to kind of keep things centralized, for those who would like to ask questions, I've opened up the Mentimeter, right? So go to menti.com, that's MENTI.com, and use the code 954989. That's 954989 to ask your question, right? So we have a trader in the house and we have a blockchain developer in the house as well, right? All stars based on my personal levels of expectations, and we think this team is going to really help Token Metrics, right? The new platform we're creating become even better, right? And the idea for that, which I'll kind of cover, all right, is for us to create a platform for the crypto investor to become a better investor, essentially, right? You guys know me from my spreadsheet, which was available to the public, but the limitations with that was I didn't think that could scale, right? And that was really one of the reasons why I was kind of dormant for over a year, right? People would say Ian didn't make any content, but because I knew the spreadsheet could not scale. So we've been working on building a dynamic, on two companies, right? Building a dynamic web application, which will also eventually be a mobile application that is more dynamic. So we can do a lot more things than we could with a spreadsheet. And we think this is going to be 10 times, 100 times better, right? I'm a big fan of Peter Thiel, right? 0 to 1. And the idea is to really do something that's very innovative in the same manner with the original spreadsheet, right? Kind of how we kind of fathered the Token Metrics community with a spreadsheet analyst. Now we want to take that to the next level. And we think what we're building now can scale, right? So we have many things we're working on that we can't really share publicly, but definitely know that we're working hard, working 12-hour days, 7 days a week, right? We have all-star teams now working with us, right? Paresh from Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Raphael from the big Wall Street global banks, right? All these guys are bringing their expertise to our team. I mean, we're definitely putting in a lot of work to hopefully give you guys a very good product. Then the other company we're also creating is a media company, right? So as you guys know, I used to have Diary of a Made Man. Now the idea is to create kind of like almost like a media network, right? A crypto media network called Token Metrics Media. And we'll have content like this, but the idea is we'll have other people like Paresh and Raphael producing content in their domain of expertise, right? So I think it's better to have people with expertise in different domains share the content than trying to have me share everything, because I'm definitely not an expert in everything, right? Especially when it comes to trading or being a blockchain developer, right? So pretty much we brought the best people in the world. We had these guys do long tests and interview, right? Maybe can you guys share with them how long the interview process was?
It was very long. I almost quit twice, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and then because we had you do a 2-hour test, right? Yes. On investment banking and a 2-hour test on
Jan was very rough on us, actually.
But hey, man, after Sparkster, we had to make sure. We had to make sure we had the best of the best.
The technical test was also very tough, I think.
Right?
Like testing so many languages and blockchain concepts. I think I scored 65%, but that's good.
Yeah, but the idea was, I mean, because that put you in the higher echelon, right? Because it was a hard test on purpose, right? That put you as an experienced developer, right? As they say in France, right? Crème de la crème, right? Best of the best, right? Cream of the cream. Okay, anyway, so first question from our audience. Once again, if you have a question, go to Mentimeter. Menti.com, MENTI.com. Use the code 954989, 954989. Okay, first question. When do you think alt season will begin? This is a question for Raphael.
Okay, so that's the $1 billion question. Okay. So, well, basically, okay, what we have now is that as Jan was telling just before, we have Bitcoin going through the roof, 70%. What is interesting is to know where does this cash come from? Why is actually Bitcoin on the rise? Why do we see another Bitcoin pumping phase right now? What is pretty interesting is that the cash coming into crypto, coming into Bitcoin, doesn't come from retailers anymore. It comes from institutional funds. We have institutional players that are coming in and they're investing massively on Bitcoin. And something interesting is that they're actually investing in Bitcoin as a hedge. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into the details, but you will see, we have a lot of market tumblings, stock sell-off alerts coming everywhere. So, and those funds, they are holding a lot of positions, a lot of those assets like equities, for example, and they're scared. They are basically scared. They're also scared that the USD could face a massive depreciation, devaluation in the coming times. So they are investing in Bitcoin because they believe it's an asset that could actually, I would say, mitigate the risk, so as it can appreciate against the dollar. So now, when will they actually move this cash into altcoin? Well, okay, that's a tough question. For now, they're acting like this because of actually risk measure, and they also want to make returns. You see that we have this negative yielding processes like all over the planet, like in Europe, for example, we are in a negative yield environment. And the US, we have seen like the yields being collapsing literally over the last week after the rate cuts, and more rate cuts are going to come. So they want actually returns, and they don't see a lot of safe places to put those returns, right? I believe at some point we will see an altcoin phase, just because they keep increasing their position in Bitcoin, okay, and they are not going to increase that, until there is a limit somewhere, okay. At some point, there's going to be a dominoes effect where some funds are going to take some of their profits, or as we say, for example, they are going to cover their longs. They're going to take some cash out of Bitcoin, and they're going to, I would say, put some money in the altcoin market. Of course, starting with the number two, this is going to start with Eetherium, it's going to go to Ripple, it's going to come to first, because risk is a process, risk appetite is a process. You don't get greedy right away, okay? This is going to go first to the Big 10, and then after that, we will see it spread all over the altcoin sphere. This is a normal process. It's going to happen. When is it going to happen? Well, that's a question. That's a question that's we cannot ask really. It's going to happen when actually the first fund is going to actually put his money in, and other funds are going to react it, because it's going to create a bit of a sell-off in the Bitcoin. There's going to be a bit of a pullback. Other funds are going to say, okay, well, some major player here is actually taking his money out. So we don't want to lose all the profits we have been making during the last months. So we are actually going to mitigate the risk. We're going to invest in somewhere else.
So you're saying it will be like a snowball effect, or like an avalanche, where somebody will start something, then everybody else will follow.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Basically, a whale would sell Bitcoin to alts.
Yes, exactly. There is at some point, there's always a psychological effect in trading. And unfortunately, it's not really like people don't think. When I say people, I think people on the media, they don't talk too much about it. It's not all about economics. It's not all about actually facts, reports. When you are in a trading floor in a major bank, don't think as those guys, they are only machines. They only look at their machines to invest. No, those guys are humans. They are under a lot of pressure. They are feeling fear, greed. And this is very important. When they start seeing, for example, imagine someone that has been holding a very large position. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. And he can see a sell-off coming in. He sees a sell-off actually on his screen. Then he starts to react as panicking. So you say, okay, I don't want to lose everything I've been making for the last 6 months. So I'm going to sell. And then another guy in another fund is going to do the same thing. And then you have a dominoes effect. This is how things actually start.
Reaction. Okay, now one thing I want to ask. I mean, I already have the answer from you privately, but for you to share with the audience publicly, how do you think interest rates will affect everything in crypto, right? Because for those who don't know, right, in America, right, interest rates have been cut.
Yep. Yes, exactly. This is incredible. Actually, we are living in an incredible area. So right now, we have the Feds that's cutting the rates again. That's been a decade since we have this kind of action. And actually, in the last Federal Open Market Committee, Powell just said, okay, so he is open. He implied that he was open to more rate cuts in the future. And right now, we're seeing a lot of pressure on long-term rates. We have seen the 10 years, practically being decimated, completely decimated. We see a yield curve inversion. So how is this going to affect actually cryptocurrency? Well, actually, for Bitcoin, it's going to be great for now, because the more the yield curve is going to be inverted, okay, the more the Fed is going to put pressure on the long-term interest rates, then the less actually there's going to be an incentive. The less people are going to make money out of bonds. So they're going to take their money out of the bonds, which is exactly what the Fed want them to do, and put them in other assets. So like equities, for example, they want, what they want is that they want everyone, the funds, the retailers, to put their money out of the bonds, to take their money out of the bonds and put them into stocks, into equities. And some people, what they try to do right now is to hedge those massive holding positions that they have with Bitcoin. This is going to keep increasing. This is why I'm actually pretty confident about where Bitcoin is going to go. And I'm pretty confident about Bitcoin's value.
So pretty bullish because it's going to be a hedge for large investors.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting. Okay. Now, do you want to maybe share some charts with the audience?
Sure, of course.
Okay. Any comments on that, Paresh, as he's pulling that up?
No?
It'd
be like the dominoes effect.
Domino effects. Okay. All right.
Amazing analysis. Yeah.
So yes, basically, let's have a look at Bitcoin. Okay, the very big one. Okay, so here we have 4-hour charts. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so with what we've been seeing, so I'm just going to, let's have a look at the 1 day first, so people can see. Look at this, basically, so we are here in January. You remember this huge, actually, like massive drop toward 3,000, and people actually here became really, really scared. Okay, where Bitcoin is going, is Bitcoin dead? Is it like okay? And then at some point here, what we had is that, okay, we are seeing some massive flows, massive cash flowing into this market. And this is from institutions. This is from funds. And for example, Goldman Sachs, who has been like, I would say, criticizing Bitcoin, I know for a fact that Goldman Sachs actually is investing in Bitcoin through another, actually an intermediary, okay? So you have those funds, those large banks that are massively into...
What do you mean through an intermediary?
Okay.
Through like futures market or something?
Yes, exactly. So actually this is very also, this is a funny thing about Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all those too big to fail banks, as we call them. They're not invested directly with their own assets from Goldman Sachs. You don't see this like, okay, Goldman Sachs has invested like $10 billion in Bitcoin. No, they create a fund, and this fund is going to belong to Goldman Sachs, and this fund is going to invest in crypto. So this is how actually they divide their work. So they also do that in order to keep control on what they're doing. And it's a way also to disguise what they're doing. Those guys are really secret about the position they hold. And because they know, and you know that, Jan, because I remember the Jan Balina's effect. So those guys, if they have actually some lines, some positions, something they hold actually being made public, they can make the market. They're already making the market.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if it goes public, their advantage is kind of gone.
Yes, exactly, definitely. So basically here, what we have right now on the short term, okay, it's like we have seen actually this kind of healthy pullback. Don't worry, a lot of people are being a bit scared. Okay, we pull back from the 14K, the $13,000. Don't worry about this. No, this is a pullback. The uptrend is not broken yet. Okay, it's not broken. And right now we are whipsawing as we have an accumulation, okay? People are waiting, the volume is decreasing, the intraday range is tightening. This is just accumulation, okay? Which is very good, is like the $11,000 has not been broken. And so as you can look, I believe that we're just going to hover here, a bit for a few days, okay? Maybe a few weeks. And then this is going actually to go to the upward. This is going to go to the upward. Why am I saying this? Is that, well, the Fed with the rates is actually putting more and more pressure on bonds, and therefore giving a huge incentive for people to put their money into those kind of assets. Okay, so, and at the same time, the Fed is releasing a huge amount of cash, is pouring a lot of cash into the market. And it's not only the Fed, because it's a global effect. You have the European Central Bank that is doing the same thing. This is doing quantitative easing and it keeps increasing. You have the Japanese Central Bank who's doing the same. And this is a global thing. So, and with this amount of cash, with actually the equities being propped to the roof, then people actually they are actually inclined to bear more risk in their portfolio, and so they're actually going to invest in riskier assets. Okay. So yes, basically this is what actually we're going to see over the short term. Okay, some whipsaw, as we say, okay, some whipsaw, and then at some point, I believe that we're going to see a major cash flow actually into the Bitcoin, and this is going to go through the roof, 12K, 13K, and 14K, and higher than this.
Wow! Definitely like hearing those words. Through the roof.
To the moon, yeah.
Yeah, to the moon. Not financial advice, obviously.
No, of course.
Okay, all right. Now, so you also work with AI, right? Did you want to maybe share what the AI says?
Sure, of course. Okay, so let me have. Oops,
okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Yes, I'm just going to launch it because my
take your time. No worries.
And just while waiting for it, I just also want to have a look at Aetherium. So you can see actually that the funds are not yet going into the altcoin. Okay, I'm just going.
Ethereum has been dying.
Yeah, Ethereum has been decimated. Honestly, this is very hard to watch. If you have a look at on the daily, it's even like okay. So basically, this is what we see. We're saying like okay, it's bleeding, and there is actually no buyers anywhere. This is not buying people. Okay, this is actually people taking actually profits on their shorts, and they actually go in again. This is really like
wow. So no buyers at all. Those are just people getting short squeezed.
Yes, exactly. No, this is really like a very bearish trend, very steep downtrend that we are seeing here. And if we look actually on the 4 hour, for example, to have a bit more short term, we see that you see every time there is a rebound, the rebound is short lived. And it's going down. And at some point, they're trying actually to, for example, we can draw a line here. They're trying actually to create a bottom, or a bottom island, as we say, so that, but this ends up to being a bull trap. And then after a bull trap, then you have another sell-off coming, a massive one, and then they try again, it fails again. So this is basically an endless story
Wow.
of, yeah.
Okay,
this is
now,
very bad.
okay, sorry. So I have a question for Paresh. And
Sure.
so a few months ago, I made comments that I thought Ethereum had pretty much lost its biggest use case, which was back in 2017, where ICOs, raising funds, right? Projects would use Ethereum to fundraise. But now we've seen that projects are using exchange tokens, IEOs, to fundraise, right? And if you check these charts and see how Ethereum is getting basically killed and wrecked, but if you look at tokens like BitMax, Binance, BNB, all the exchange tokens have been going through the roof. All right.
Yep.
So it seems like all that value has been captured by the IEOs, because then people ask now, what's the other value for Ethereum, right? I know developers still love it, and most projects being built, they issue their tokens on the Ethereum platform. So question for the developer, is there still long-term value in Ethereum?
I mean, I don't want to comment on the value, but definitely the technology. I believe strongly believe in the people behind the Ethereum blockchain developers. Very solid. The technology is also solid, right? The only down part is scalability, right? And they are trying hard, and I think we will definitely see something coming in 2020, and once the scalability has been improved, I think there are like hundreds of projects that basically came out because of drawbacks of the Ethereum, right? They all will die, basically.
Yeah, I mean, though that recently we had the founder of Zilliqa, right? Basically, exit scam in a way, allegedly, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yes, you told me. Yeah, so basically, I am like strongly believer of Ethereum, like even yeah. I mean, I don't understand the technical analysis part that Raphael does. That is like totally different world for me. But when things comes to technology and the way they are trying to make it work, they were the first people, right? And now where they are is like one of the strongest team in the blockchain world.
Now,
Okay.
how realistic is it that they'll solve sharding? Because they've been talking about Casper, it seems, indefinitely.
Yes.
Keep on pushing
Yeah.
the deadline back and back and back, right?
Yeah,
So is it
it's not
something?
easy. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not easy to do, but I'm thinking, something in terms of kind of hard fork, where it will be like something new, right? So they might just get rid of the current one and just move everything to the new one, if it is not possible, to do like soft fork for the current blockchain. And sharding and these things is definitely, increase the scalability and TPS. And as per Vitalik, they are trying to work out. So rather than like a few transaction per second, they want to like have 100,000 transactions per second, right? That is their ultimate goal. Just think about, like, they have been working towards that goal. When they reach that goal, where the other projects will be, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, we just need
Yeah.
to wait, and I mean, you can follow their GitHub and blog posts and everything. They are so active and they are very much committed to it, right? So all other projects, I would say, they are not like actually want to make an impact to the community or to the like
Okay.
blockchain future. They just want to raise money and maybe just go away, or
Yeah,
just
that's
something,
that's the
right?
issue I see, right? Because people have been trying to take advantage of Ethereum's weakness,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Especially
Yeah.
during the ICO bubble, and even now, right? As we mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah.
Silicon and all these other projects
Yeah.
claim they're
But
going to defeat Ethereum or do a better Ethereum or better smart contract protocol,
yeah,
and they end up
exactly. And
taking
that's what
money.
I like. I like about the Vitalik, like, and the Ethereum team. You don't see any of those people, or in this kind of conversation about value and things. But when things to technology, they are like on the top notch, right? They are very clear what they're doing and what is the roadmap. And they will come up with something. I'm like strongly, blindly believer of of
Okay.
the Ethereum
So
technology.
for those asking, the Menti code, once again, go to menti.com, menti.com, and use the code 954989. That's 954989. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely very frustrating, right? But I mean, me personally, right, I don't hold any Ethereum anymore. So so if you kind of use that as a litmus test, I don't know anybody else in my network who's really holding Ethereum, right? Because especially in the bear market, if we wanted to send money, we'll just use USDT or Tether.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you don't want to risk the volatility. And those are the coins best.
Okay. Paresh, Raphael, you ready?
Yes, of course. So, okay, let me share my screen. So, okay. And here we go. So this is the artificial intelligence that I've been building. So, okay. Basically, okay, I'm not actually going too much into the details. I don't want to really like, I would say, make you sleep. But as we're saying right now, so this is a weekly chart, okay? Because I want to see on the long term, okay? We want to have a perspective on the long term, what we are seeing here, and what can we expect. And really, what we are saying basically is that we have a massive cash flow. We have a lot of cash coming into Bitcoin, and this is absolutely going through the roof. Like, okay, this is, of course, like what I call the bipyramidal shape that I have here, and this is very aligned. This is very aligned. That means that the market is actually being structured. This is not so chaotic anymore, if I can say it this way. So it means that we have institutions coming in. When retailers are actually going in, it happens, of course, that they can go in a structured way, but let's think about it. You have 100,000 people that want to buy or sell at the same time. So it's much more chaotic. When you have an institutions, they have the purchase power and they invest by block. Okay, it's like they go and go and go and buy and buy and buy. So right now, and the AI is clearly spotting it. We have just a pullback. This is only a pullback, and we had a rejection of the support here. And the 9K is very important. The 9K is a very strong support. It's been a lot of volume coming in to defend that support when actually we retested it. So yeah, really the path is clearly, I would say the cash is truly coming in and not actually coming out.
Yes. So maybe let's take a step back again and re-explain that for people who may not know how to read or decipher this AI system, since it is relatively new to most people who are watching this.
Sure. Yeah, you want me to explain how it works, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So basically, what we have here is the bipyramidal. Okay, like it seems like a very weird shape. Okay, so on the left, you have this pyramid or this triangle. It depends how you want to see it. This is actually, we are actually watching, measuring, so the market expansion. When I say market expansion or contraction, basically it is like, are we actually expanding, meaning do we see more cash being put into this market, or actually, so it's actually like, it's blue, it's pretty strong. Okay, so I like to make things simple. Okay, so blue means good. And then, well, actually, so cash is being put into the market. Then you have like the market contraction. Okay, so that actually the liquidity drain. We have people taking their cash out of the market, and that's actually when we have a market contraction. After this is not enough to say, okay, so this is going up or this is going down. A market expansion, you can have some major pullbacks during a market expansion as the one we have been seeing right now. Okay, so we are seeing right now. So this is what we have here, this other triangle or pyramid. This one is a bit technical. It takes into account the fractal. The fractal are actually analyzing the data from the order flow. Okay, we are actually looking at the volume and how people do invest. Do we see, like, for example, what I call the market absorption? For example, do we see actually sellers, so people selling Bitcoin are quickly being bought, or do we see the opposite? Do we see actually that, okay, people are selling, for example, the Bitcoin and no one wants them, which is actually going to lead to a massive decrease in the value.
A big dump, basically.
Yes. So basically what we have now is no, actually the buyers are in control. It means that for any seller, there is a buyer. Any seller in Bitcoin, there is a buyer. Okay, so this is why, and I want just to add this, over about we always hear this, and this is great. I'm really thankful. This is great because with Jan, I've never heard him talking about oversold or overbought, and this is great actually, because we hear that a lot, and it doesn't mean much actually. A stock or an asset, a crypto can remain oversold or overbought for a very, very long amount of time. So you can't actually build your portfolio on it. So you can build your decision. So it's like what matters is, does a seller meet a buyer? Okay, this is very important. If actually you sell your good and no one wants it, then you can expect that, okay, you're going to have to decrease the value of your good. And same for the market. If there is too much demand, too much buyers and not enough sellers, then actually it's going up. This is very simple. And so yeah, this is how actually it works. What you're seeing here, basically, so this what I call the node. This is actually where we have the strong rejection, and it's telling me, okay, how can we look at it? Is it something that can be experienced as a reversal, or is it just going to be a pullback? At the time here, because we are thinking short term, I'm a day trader. At the time, so this is all dynamic also as well. Right now, what we are seeing is that this figure here, this node, is showing that there is a high probability of this level to be reached in the near future. Okay, the probability is good. So it actually increased my probability of success if I actually go in the trend direction. Of course, no investment advice, of course, definitely not. But this is in terms of probability.
Okay, so hold on. So here it's saying the trend is going where?
Going up, actually, going up. So we have actually a high probability of retesting the highs actually at 13.8K. So $13,000. Sorry. So this is actually a major, very good signal for me if I want actually to enter the position right now and enter a position and say, okay, well, actually I have a higher rate of success. Okay, of course, this is dynamic. It can change. Okay, it's going to depend on how we are going to react to the next level. But the probability, the probability are in our favor. The market is expanding. The order flow is also in bulls' favor. So okay, bulls buyers' favor. So it's really good. And we are seeing here all the green. Okay, it's like traders, we work by a code of colors. Okay, we are very simple guys, It's like green is good and red is bad. Okay, so this is just how we make things. And yeah, so we see that we are in an uptrend. The uptrend is pretty obvious and it's going to last. For now, there is no sign of actually Bitcoin experiencing another pullback, decrease. I would say not pullback, but reversal.
Okay. Now this is long term, right? This is on the weekly.
Yes, exactly. If I have a look, for example, like I would say on the daily, you will see that the pyramids will change. Okay, so basically everything is also a matter of time frame. Okay, so what we see here is that we went actually all the way up. We went all the way up, from the 9K. This is a daily time frame. We hit the 9K. We went all the way to the $12,000. Okay, and right now what we're seeing is a pullback, nothing more than a pullback. Okay, because why can I say that? Because yeah, that could be a reversal. Okay, but there is another indicator in this chart, and this is actually the more complex and the more useful one. So you have the pattern here, what we call the phase. A phase is, okay, so we have 4 phases, and it doesn't matter in which phase we are. The only thing that matters is the transition. If I go from phase 1 to phase 2, I know that actually the current movement is accelerating. So more and more people are actually going with the trend, okay? So right now, what we are saying, we went at 1 actually few hours ago, and we went all the way, we went through 2. So actually the market is increasing and it's going up. We have a rejection from the 11K. That's a bullish sign. Okay, it's a very good sign. And yes, so basically we also see something here is that you have the short term. The short term fractals is telling you that this is actually, I would say, a short term downtrend. But you see the medium term and the long term fractals that are actually bullish. Okay, so it is just a pullback, just a healthy breath before a rebound.
Okay. So does this tell us where the bottom is, like where the pullback will stop? Any
Yes.
idea, any range?
Yes, exactly. So you have actually the major pullback here was at 9K. 9,000 is really the level that was defended. Okay, it's you can see like you have what we call that the bats, for example, here. Okay, there's 2 triangles. This is also another pattern that traders like to use, and it's pretty useful. Here, what they're saying is that this is a bottom. This level as being defended, and not, when I say defended, it seems like something desperate. No, we have actually buyers stepping in. So we have orders at the $9,000 to buy Bitcoin, and this was institutional. Okay, then you have some retailers coming in and selling the Bitcoin because they want to take profit. Retailers are more short-term than institutions. Then we have another, actually, you have this pullback here, and you have actually other market orders that are buying Bitcoin again, and then much stronger ones. Okay, they are breaking because they wanted to break this level here, the $11,000. They just wanted to break it so that they can actually issue a new uptrend. This is how they want. They want to make money. So, and they have the power to make the markets. So they're not like you and I. Okay, we are just followers, but they can make the market. So they want it to go there. They are going to do anything they can for it to go there. And right now, what they want is very clear. They want it to go up.
Oh man, wow, that was pretty intense.
Yeah,
Thanks.
great, man.
But yeah, I mean, hey, if you guys like this kind of analysis, especially with the AI trading system, definitely smash the like button and definitely post in the comments. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely why we brought you on board to give us this level of insight. Okay.
Yes. Well, thank you, Jan. Thank you very much.
Now, can we also maybe take a look at Ethereum?
Sure, of course. Okay. So Ethereum here. Okay. Okay. What we have is, okay, we have a look at the daily. Okay. Let's have a look at the weekly. I always like to start with the weekly, the larger time frame. It gives me also an idea where we are regarding the big levels. Okay. The level that institutional players actually they look at. This is, for example, the $9,000 in Bitcoin. I'm just waiting for it. So Ethereum, okay, basically what we are going to see, and I'm going to have a look at the Ethereum USD. This is also important for me to say. Why am I looking at? Because this gives me a comparison between this how Ethereum is going against the dollar versus Bitcoin. Okay, this is very good, and this is okay. I'm sorry, this is not
okay. No worries. Ethereum
Okay.
is going down so much it crashed the program.
Yeah, it completely crashed my computer. Okay, so.
Okay, no worries.
So,
Okay, so as you're doing that, here, let's take the next question from the audience. Okay, somebody's asking about Firm Network. I'm not sure if you guys have had a chance to look into that project. Now, we did meet a team in Africa, in Nigeria, during a crypto world tour. They came there, and we met Ian Friend, who had a chance to present. I mean, the team seems pretty good. I would definitely like what they're doing, but I mean, me personally, I didn't invest. I mean, the market was just getting pretty bad, pretty unfortunate to be investing in ICOs or IEOs, right? I know they recently listed on BitMax, right? And it seems to be staying afloat. But I mean, I can't really, we can't really give you our official opinion on them until we've had a chance to do a new review using our brand new system that we're creating, right? Where we have me, Sam, Sarab, who handle the fundamental analysis. Then we have Paresh, who handles the technical analysis, I mean, the technology analysis, right? And then we also have some technical analysis as well, right? Which Raphael has been working with us deeply to really build a full circle holistic system to grade tokens, right? So with token metrics, initially when we launch, we'll be grading IEOs, but we also plan to be grading tokens currently trading on exchanges, right? Providing both technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and technology analysis, all for the same project. So you have a full picture view on how good our project is, right? Because people say, why do we need trading, right? Are we becoming traders? And my response is saying, yes, fundamentals may be good, but you also need to know when to buy and when to sell, because that matters a lot. For example, Bitcoin fundamentals are great, but that does not mean you buy a Bitcoin at $20,000. That means you wait till it goes down to 3,000, then you buy the bottom, right? And to do this, you have to have the technical analysis, right? That expertise from Raphael. Okay, all right. Have you guys looked into Firm Network? No.
No,
Not me.
I haven't.
Okay.
I'm going to let Paresh talk on this actually.
Okay. Next question, Raphael, this is for you. Have you heard of Chronix trading bot? What's your take on that, or on trading bots in general?
Okay, so Coindesk trading bot especially, I'm not familiar with it. Okay, trading bots, yeah, of course, it's very actually common in the trading world. Would remain cautious there because I don't like the term, trading bots, and I want to do like, there are two types of bots, honestly. If you have, for example, an AI-based bot, so this is a system that is going actually to learn from itself. Okay, it's built out of a neural network, and you have some features that I would say that they actually look like us. Actually, they are actually what it's very simple. When it's an artificial intelligence, it's basically we're trying to do some mimetism of the human brain, and we try to reproduce the human abilities, cognitive abilities. So what we do is that we do something, we make a mistake, okay, then it's giving us an input, and then from that we go on, and we don't make the same mistake, and we adapt also the parameters at the same time. A trading bot that is static, for example, a technical indicator, a lot of technical indicators are great. I'm not, for example, the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence is very used. The RSI, we always have heard about stochastic. Those are great. The problem is that they are static. They only take like a picture. They only take a picture of a moment. The market is very dynamic. It evolves constantly. It changes. So you need to adapt to it. You need to change the parameters, but the machine can't do that. We can. This is why you have traders actually that are very good at, they don't use any bots actually. So this is pretty amazing because they use their experience, and they use actually their what we call intuition in order to build to make a decision. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be very cautious, especially regarding trading bots. Yeah.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer. Okay, now let's go to Paresh. So people are asking, what projects have we been looking at? Right. So maybe you can kind of share your thoughts on projects like Blockstack and Facebook Libra from the technology perspective, and why and our thoughts on them.
All right, sure. So basically, what we're doing at the moment is we will have a technical review for the project that we selected every week with the video. And also, what we're doing is like top 100 technical reviews, right, of the coins. So far, we have completed like about 30, top 30 technical reviews. So that includes basically what is the use of the blockchain, how whether the project is feasible to implement, what they are promising, they are actually doing the things, right? And commonly used cases and things, and we give overall opinion about it.
Yeah, we have
It,
several data points that we take into account.
yeah,
Now, how many exactly do you recall?
I think it's 23 data
over
points for
20.
technical.
Yeah, 23 data points, guys, just on the technology.
Yeah,
Right. So
just
this is definitely, we've come a long way since last year, since 2017, right? Where we just look at whether they had a prototype or whether they had X amount, whatever, right? Now we're looking at just the technology itself, 23 data points, and that keeps growing.
yes, yeah. So yeah, you guys will see a Blockstack and Facebook Libra video when we go live with Token Metrics. So I can give you the quick
Yeah.
review about what I
Yeah.
feel about
Anything
the project.
you want to share on your screen?
There's
No,
nothing to
nothing to
share,
share?
to be
Okay.
honest. I think I
All
can
right.
just give quick things like what I think about both the project.
Okay.
So starting with the Blockstack, I have did like deep dive review of their coding and the white paper and everything A to Z. Right? They it's a very solid project actually. The one of the thing that differentiate for all the projects in past is the way they have implemented their blockchain basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have their own blockchain, they have their own decentralized storage, and they have already live actually everything. It's called Blockstack authentication ID, right? So you can actually start using now as well. So it will be like kind of Facebook Connect and Google login, so you can just log into any new website just like by one click basically, right? So if something happens similar in the blockchain world, I think the Blockstack will be at that level, in coming years, basically. And the things that differentiate this Blockstack with all other technologies in the past blockchain is the two things they are using very unique way. One is the tunable proof of mechanism that they are using, right? Another thing is proof of burn mining algorithm. So what they do in a nutshell is the tunable proof of mechanism is basically they use that things for leader election system basically when there are so many nodes, right, like competing with each other for coming to the consensus, right? They use this tunable proof of mechanism, and the way they do is they use the proof of work algorithm, but in addition to that they reuse actually the hash power of other established blockchain. Actually that's what they call, and they have to start with they are actually already using the blockchain Bitcoin blockchain hash power, right? And the way they select the leader is proof of burn mining algorithm. So they maintain the two chains. One is the stacks chain, right? And the one is burn chain. So like you need to burn the native blockchain resources to in order to qualify for the leader. So more you burn, you have more chances to get qualified for that.
So
So
they
that
basically have two chains, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
they leverage the Bitcoin chain for security.
Yeah, and they can basically change this underlying Bitcoin to underlying Bitcoin chain to any other chain in the future. That's why they call it as a tunable proof of
Okay.
mechanism.
Now tell us what's so innovative about this and about the project in general.
Yeah, so the innovative is like the Blockstack ID, right? So they have everything live, right? First of all, and whatever they're saying in the white paper and the roadmap, they are like very strict about their roadmap. and the GitHub repository is exactly reflecting what they are saying. They have already like almost 200 applications live in on their blockchain, which anyone can go and just start using it. So the video that I will be doing, I have given the demonstration as well.
Any chance for us to pull up those applications that they have for people to see? I think that people like to see visual. If we can pull that up, that'll be good.
Just 1 second.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, I mean, I know I've been following Blockstack for over 2 years. I went to their conference in San Francisco a while back when I was still working at IBM and I was doing crypto on the side. Me and Hen and a friend of mine, we traveled from DC all the way over there to attend this conference because we heard so many good things about it. And it's a project I've personally kind of been very bullish on. The only issue I had was the very long lockup. But it's great to see them really innovate the space with how they're creating the first SEC qualified security token. Right? And I think they're really going to pave the way forward for other people other entrepreneurs to follow their path.
Right. Okay, let me share my screen. I can show you.
Okay, great. Okay, somebody's saying Komodo also uses Bitcoin for security for a while. What makes this different?
Yeah, so
yeah,
okay, we haven't looked at Komodo yet. I think it is in our to-do list. Okay, so if anyone wants to try out the Blockstack, right, so they can create the ID, right, and can go on the applications that already been deployed on this blockchain. So I already created the ID, so you can see like my identity, right? That this is my block ID, Blockstack ID, and I connected my Twitter as well. So this all applications are live, right? So if you want to try out any on the Graphite, I think this is something similar to Dropbox, I would say, right? So but they are it's decentralized storage they uses, and it is encrypted, so only your cryptographic key can decrypt the document. Basically that's the whole idea. So if I start now, let me connect. So it will connect using my Blockstack ID. I think I'm already connected, so it uses my cookie and it did ask me again to connect. Otherwise you get a button there saying that, connect using Blockstack basically. So basically this is what it is. You can create
so their blockchain ID is kind of like a Facebook Connect or like logging in with Google.
Exactly.
But for all the blockchain apps they have.
Yes. So that's what I meant, so if something great happens and blockchain comes in the mainstream, I think Blockstack can be, like one of that level.
Yeah.
But Facebook Connect and Google.
And to kind of add to that, I mean, me personally, I've been getting more and more bearish on all the other altcoins is I feel like similar to the .com era, how most startups died and you only were left with the Amazon, the Googles of the world, right? Yeah. Then now we basically have where I think a few blockchains will really dominate, right? Maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe Libra and Blockstack. Because now when I see Blockstack and I see they're launching with over 100 applications, I don't know any other blockchain protocol out there besides the handful like Ethereum that can compete with this, right? Because this isn't just pie in the sky; these are actually already built. All right.
I just would like Paresh to talk about this because he's a great technology guy, and there is a great chart. And if I could share. I just would like you to explain this.
Yeah, so let's do that while Paresh is pulling up whatever he has.
Oh, sure. Sorry, Paresh, do you want to pull something or can I?
Okay, he has it. Okay, hold on.
Sure.
Go ahead, Paresh. You're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying the overall opinion about Blockstack, but we can take what Raphael is saying. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Raphael.
Yes, I just would like actually. Could you comment this chart because for me, this it looks incredible, honestly.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what they are comparing, right? So like, if you think about 1960, 1970, when mainframe came out, right? Everyone was saying like mainframe. Like your one computer is like size of your room. Yeah. And then like the desktop came out, like which is like something that you can put on the table. Yeah. And after that, the cloud era came where you don't, I mean, the computer is in your palm or like, very small and you can host like anywhere, you want basically your server, right? So now what these guys are saying that the next era is the decentralized era, right? Where you will have open data means you control your data actually, no one else basically. That is the main goal for this block stack actually. So you have like complete privacy and you control your data using this cryptographic keys and things. So it's totally decentralized, no one is controlling. So at the moment, if you register on Google or Facebook, they have all your data, they can learn, what is it, I mean, they know all your friends. They, if they want basically, they can make meaningful, they can retry the meaningful
Yeah, Facebook
information
has way too
from,
much data on people.
yeah, basically,
I mean, and to a
right?
point, it's very, very creepy.
Yeah, so
Okay,
basically
now quick
that's
question.
what.
How does Blockstack compare to Ethereum? Right? Because me, when I see Blockstack, they're maybe they don't have the level of developer adoption like Ethereum, but it
Mm.
seems like their vision and execution is actually better, right? Because I see their ecosystem, all those applications. I mean, I don't really see that much in Ethereum, at least where it's central. It seems like Ethereum is super decentralized, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ethereum is a platform, right? Blockstack is like an application. So you can say like that. And Blockstack has their own blockchain as well. But in a nutshell, for user perspective, it is like kind of utility. But Ethereum is like providing the platform for other utilities to build upon.
So
Yeah.
Blockstack kind of handles everything.
So Blockstack has their own blockchain.
Yeah,
They
they have their
have
own
their own
blockchain, but the
storage, right?
applications they have, right, like the graph like you showed me and all that,
Yeah. So that is basically built on the Blockstack blockchain itself.
it seems like what they have can communicate a lot more efficiently and better than Ethereum. Is that the case?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not. There is no exact exact comparison, that way actually. But I mean, you can see like user perspective, Blockstack is
That's good.
better the way it
Okay.
works. But yeah, platform perspective, yeah, it's Ethereum.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the only concern we had with Blockstack was their early round, right? The early investors
And
had a massive discount.
yeah, and the valuation actually, that's what.
Yeah, and the valuation. But the technology-wise, right? It's
Technology
pretty
wise
solid.
is very solid,
Right,
yes.
but guys, always do your own research, right? We're just giving you our perspective and opinion on this. But yeah, the technology is very solid. That's coming from a blockchain developer. Okay. Now, how about Facebook Libra? This one is getting a lot of attention. And me personally, I mean, from talking to you, right, you kind of convinced me that the technology is very solid. And people find that very surprising because I think most people in crypto, when they see Facebook, they see like this evil company and they don't want it to dominate the blockchain space or to even issue its own blockchain or cryptocurrency. But I think this is great for the space because they have over 2 billion users, 2 billion eyeballs that will be exposed and educated about blockchain and cryptocurrency. I mean, whether or
Right.
not you like their cryptocurrency or project, I think is irrelevant. I think with more adoption, more global adoption, Facebook can be the catalyst for that.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm agree. I mean, irrespective, despite of Facebook Libra is going to the tough time at the moment from government and from the regulators or whatever. But if you think in terms of technology and the the level of impact that this coin can make is tremendous. Okay, I think that's the reason everyone is basically concerned about. But So I will be, I mean, when in my video, I will be explaining in more
Okay.
detail, right? About I have tried the Facebook Libra blockchain myself as well, and tested on locally as well. But what I can say is what they are solving is solid problem actually, right? One is basically the billions of people around the world is still outside the financial system. Yeah, without they don't have even like traditional bank access. And the other thing is like this payday loans, right? They basically charges like up to 400% actually. So like if you just want to borrow $100, you pay like $30 as a
As
basic,
transaction fees.
yeah, transaction fee. So
So what is the blockchain like, the technology? Can you share with the audience your take on the actual technology? I mean,
yes.
because you were going through and trying out their testnet and all that.
Yeah, it is going to be very, very fast. Basically, what they're doing is they have created their own state machine replication algorithm, right? Which is basically the way it works between the nodes to share the replica of the blockchain. So as we know that they are starting with the permission blockchain, right? So they have created the association, that is what they call Facebook Libra association, and all big companies are the part of this Facebook Libra association, like all Visa, PayPal, eBay, Uber, right? Every all those companies. So basically what they will do is they will run Facebook Libra blockchain node to run the consensus algorithm and commit the transaction into the blockchain. And Facebook did this intentionally, because they didn't want to do everything themselves, and that makes them like very much centralized, right? But by doing this, they are convincing the people that they are, I mean, splitting down this responsibility to the other well-known companies already, right? So one way is solid, a solid idea, the way the Facebook is doing.
Okay.
Right.
Now they created their own programming language called Move.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
So that's basically the programming language, to write the smart contracts on Libra blockchain.
How does that compare to other protocols?
I mean, it's Mo is again the non-Turing language,
Non-Turing
right?
complete. Okay.
Yeah, non-Turing complete, and they need to like do it like that because it doesn't require like all features of the programming language, right? It supports all the features that you need to write the smart contract on the Libra blockchain, basically.
Okay. Can you explain what Turing complete is for those who are not developers?
Yeah, so Turing complete is basically something like a C or C++ programming language where you can do almost anything that you can think
You
of,
can do the
right?
complex
Yeah,
calculations,
but
computation.
yeah, for example, non-Turing complete can be, you can say that recursion is not supported, right? Recursion is like something like the function calls itself, right? If you support that, then it is risk on the blockchain because it can be like unlimited guess, and your money can just die basically, right? So those kind of things they don't support for non-Turing language basically on the blockchain.
Okay. Cool. Okay. And yeah, so Paresh has done an in-depth video reviewing Facebook Libra and even going into the code and doing the test net, which we'll be putting out whenever, probably in a few weeks or so. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next question. Okay. But prior to that, Raphael, you have something to share?
Oh yes, actually, now I have. Let me have a look. Here we go. So here, okay, you have the Ethereum against the USD. Okay. Well, basically, what we're seeing here. Okay, always try to compare things. Okay, so I'm just going to go through. The Ethereum is definitely following the trend with, of course, the Bitcoin is pushing the crypto sphere higher against the dollar, but still it's suffering. It's suffering here. It has been suffering, and it hasn't catch, the same bounce that we saw, the same amount of cash that we saw in Bitcoin. So definitely institutional players are not there. It has catch some, I would say, some kind of I would say relief at some point, because we have what we can call, we know this word for Bitcoin, we have this Ethereum maximalist. But, yes, we have people like Paresh. I know for a fact that Paresh is an Ethereum maximalist. But yes, no, the problem with the number two that's is right now is bears. It doesn't catch the interest of the institutional players. So for now, it is hard actually to think of a way like how can we make money out of it on the buy side. It's kind of hard. Well, like of course, no investment advice, but as Jan was saying, and everybody actually around me was saying, this is not good. This is not good for now for Ethereum, and Ethereum is also leading the path for the other altcoins. It's also what we call in trading terms a proxy. In terms of, we look at a coin and we look at an asset, and this asset gives us information for another asset. And Ethereum is, I would say, the leading indicator of the altcoin sphere. And it's not.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because I mean, any chance this is going to stop? Because if Ethereum is tanking, there's no way we can have out season.
Yes, exactly. What you're saying is very true. It's like right now we have actually we have a divergence between I would say we're talking about the crypto sphere. Between the crypto sphere, there is now Bitcoin and the altcoins. Okay, so Bitcoin is one asset that has a completely different function than the others in terms of investment, of course, purposes. Bitcoin right now is an hedge. It is a hedge. Okay, so it's acting like gold. It is reacting to geopolitical risk. For example, like China and the U.S. trade war we're seeing. We just saw, for example, the yuan devaluation, and at the same time, we saw a very strong increase in Bitcoin. This is not a coincidence, because we have U.S. traders, we have traders all over the world, but mostly, of course, we are interested in the U.S. traders that actually were hedging a risky situation as a yuan devaluation. We saw a very strong dive in the equities and in the indices market. So they are hedging with the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin just got like, wow, just in few minutes it was $500, $700, and it went over $12,000 for a while. So yeah, that was crazy. The altcoin is another thing. We have like no institutional, would say, willingness to invest there for now. They are considered as risky. They are considered as unreliable assets for now. But however, I just don't want you to think that this is all bad for altcoin, and you have to think in the terms that this is great that Bitcoin caught the eyes of institutional funds, because those guys, they move very slowly. They have been doing research for years and years on those assets. You have to think as them. They are investing billions of dollars. They have hundreds of billions of dollars. So when they want to mitigate the risk, when they want to diversify, they can't actually just on an idea, with impulsivity, just say, okay, I'm going to buy Bitcoin right now because I'm hearing that this is a good thing to buy. No, they want to backtest. They want to have the risk management department to provide them with financial models for valuation models, because they want to integrate all those new assets into their into their portfolio. So there's assets have to be structured with value, with forecast, okay, and all of the, I would say, the models that we have are completely outdated. So they were actually they were facing a very strong dilemma. They were facing, okay, the crypto sphere is actually going up. This is a new asset that we have to deal with, no matter what people are saying. But we want risk department, we want static department, we want every data to be available. So what I mean is that this is actually a good thing that Bitcoin is finally being institutionalized, so that, and they are doing the research on other altcoins. Of course, they are going to do it. They are doing it on Ethereum, Ripple, like Monero, and bit by bit, this is going to spread. So I'm really actually happy about this.
Okay, I mean, so what does that short-term and mid-term say for Ethereum and alt season, right? Because you're saying that it's not necessarily tied together, even though it is the leading indicator.
Yes, so Ethereum is the leading indicator there. So we are actually looking at, of course, as you say, there are some outliers. Okay, there are some outliers about. Okay, we have seen some, like recently, for example, we have been spotting, like for example, if regarding the Matic network that saw a very strong increase of 70%. So let me share actually.
Yeah, now Matic was, I guess Coinbase made the announcement that they're looking into listing it. So I think that was lots of speculation.
Yes, true. Yes, very true. There's also, but yes, it's like, for example, like those last days, we have seen some pretty strong increase. I would say price increase. So okay, this is EOST. Okay, so this crypto is actually, as you can see, it's not really like. So this is when you see that, this is what we call an ugly chart. This is the data is a very spread.
That's called a what? A Nobu chart?
Sorry?
What'd you say? What kind of chart is it?
No, I say that we call that an ugly chart, in terms of that. When we look at it, we know that it's going to be very hard to analyze this, with an AI or with any trading system, because the data, is pretty sparse. And but still, actually, it was pretty interesting because this coin has been doing, like, for example, like if I go on the daily, this is going to be better. This coin has been doing great, for the last week. So it was also like there are some opportunities. This is also important to say. There are some opportunities even in a crisis to invest in a buy side. You have some. We have, like in the stock market, for example, a term, a metric called the beta. Okay, a beta is pretty interesting because it's how actually an asset is going to move related to the benchmark. And here, when we have some negative beta, that means that actually some stocks, some equities are moving against the market. So when you have a crisis and you want actually to bet on those ones, here you have some outliers that EOS, for example, that were actually doing pretty good this week on the short term. Of course, there was also the Dust network that was also something. I'm sorry, I'm going just to go this way. That was showing some strength, but still, to be honest, the Ethereum is really getting decimated. And there is no buying power here. There is something we are looking at, for example, a very simple metric, but yet a very strong one is the volume. Okay, if we're looking on the daily chart, because we want actually to see how it gets on the long-term charts when we are looking at it, we are seeing a decrease in volume. Okay, basically there is a decrease. So that means that actually the liquidity is being drained out of the market. And that doesn't mean necessarily that this is, I would say, a bearish signal. but that means that this is a risk measure. If liquidity goes out, then you can I would say expect very strong movements to come, because actually the volume is getting lower and lower, smaller and smaller, and so you can expect, for example, whales to come in and do some very, very strong movements like pump and dump. For example, every crypto trader knows pump and dump. We have all suffered from pump and dumps. But yes, this is true. It's when it's getting smaller and smaller, it's actually whales are making a lot of money out of those movements, and so we are at the mercy of that kind of very wild training.
Wow, incredible. Okay, I mean, I'm definitely not touching Ethereum anytime soon. Okay, now let's go to Paresh. Paresh, you want to continue with Facebook, Libra?
Yeah, sure. Okay, let me share my screen. Register. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So
okay.
I already cloned the Libra core repository.
Okay. So now we're doing a deep dive on Facebook Libra. Nice.
Oh
yeah. So this is a Facebook Libra code. Okay. So you can see, I mean, all the components like storage, mempool, network, execution. This is all components. I have explained that in detail in my Facebook Libra video that you guys will be watching soon. Right. So, and I already run the dependency script basically that requires to, download and install dependencies. If I do now, it will take like half an hour, not half an hour, 10 minutes.
Yeah, no time for that.
So what I need to do, I will do is just start the testnet client. Okay. So what this will do is basically it will connect. So my local machine, this terminal will connect to the Facebook Libra testnet blockchain. So yeah, we are in now. So with the Libra console, I can now talk to Libra testnet. So let me see. I already created a few accounts in past. At the moment, if I create now, right, it will give me. So I will show you. So what will happen? So it will either retry or create the account. So I do like create account. So yeah, it's created account. So you see,
So that's your address?
yeah, I mean it says that created or retried account, right? So if I create one more, right, it can say created or retried account, right? And now if I say account list, right, this is interesting. So now if you see the account 0 and 1, they are persisted account, right? So they are already there on the blockchain basically. So they are on the testnet blockchain. They are persisted, but this account too, I created it in locally, but I never used it, so it is still on the local. It's not been committed on the repository, right? So if let me see, I can mint some tokens in Libra. Okay, myself. This just allow in the testnet only. Okay, can't just mint like this.
Let's mint
right?
1 billion tokens for ourselves.
So I'm minting 110 token on each account, right?
Now,
And
quick question. So
yeah.
in this case, what is minting for, right? Because I assume once they launch the mainnet, people can't just mint their own tokens, because that'd be insane.
No, it won't. I mean, this is testnet, right? So basically, they are allowing you to create some Libra for yourself, and you can try out the transferring Libra between the accounts.
Now, when Libra launches, how will tokens be minted?
I think they haven't explained very much detail about it, but they don't have any maximum supply. It will be like Ethereum.
Inflationary.
Right? So yeah, basically, so they can. It is reserve, right? Reserve stable token. So they have a very detailed algorithm about not algorithm, the white paper about proof of reserve, right? How they are making this stable coin. So the number of coins has to match the like USD, basically, right? The number of USD. So that's how they will be able to manage
Okay, so
$1
yeah,
always.
that's true. So because they'll have the basket of assets or securities backing.
Yeah, so I think Sam will be covering that, or someone, like is an investment research. Yeah. Okay. So now if I see balance, the account zero balance is for 610. I already had 500. I already have 500 on account number one as well. So I think it should be same. And account two should have just 110 that I just minted. Okay, so now let me transfer some funds from account 0 to account 1. I would say it's 610, so I will just transfer, let's say 210. So I'm transferring from 0 to 1, right? And this transfer is basically non-blocking transfer, so you can see it doesn't wait for transfer to complete on the blockchain. But there is one
What does
more.
that mean? Non-blocking.
Yeah, let me see. So there is one more command like transfer B. So transfer B is a blocked command. So basically, it will not return to you until the transaction has been confirmed on the blockchain. So you will see that transfer was written immediately. This function will take a fraction of second. Okay, you will see like some kind of dot. See, you see. Okay, so basically, this means that this transaction has been committed to the blockchain. Okay, so if I query again the balance of number one, it has made a two times transaction, right? So it's like 0 to 1. So it got 1030, and this one will be reduced by 220. Okay,
Okay.
so that's the thing, and the important thing, one of the things that we want to see is sequence, right? The way they manage it. So you see, like zero has six sequence, number one account has one sequence. Basically, the sequence get incremented automatically. It's kind of a nouns for Ethereum. So whenever you transfer some Libra from one account to other account, the source account sequence get incremented by one. So I have transferred like 6 times Libra from account 0. Basically, that's what it means, right? And you can also see, query, right? The complete query about this. So what kind of information they log on the blockchain. So this is like, of course, the transaction information, right? So who is the sender, like my account 0, and the receiver, and this is like 210 Libra that we sent. But the amount that you see here, it is in micro Libra. So that's why it is like 210 times 10 to the power 6. So it is something like GUI or a view, right, on the Ethereum blockchain. They also log the events as well, the account event, that the transfer fund basically from one account to other. So you have whole history on the blockchain, which can be used by any tap or, people to retrieve the information.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Very technical there.
Yeah, so it's a very nice way to understand, how this
Yeah.
blockchain is basically working.
And overall, you're saying the documentation is very easy to use for developers to get
Yeah,
up.
solid document, like one of one of the best thing I have seen in even in Blockstack and Facebook both, right? So like they can get you up and running in like no time. Very solid documents.
Wow. Now, so which one, if you had to pick one, would you pick Libra or Blockstack?
For what?
Tech-wise, really, technology. Which
No,
technology do you think is more innovative?
it's very difficult because if you see the score wise, right?
Mhm.
I have given score 52 out of 55, which is approximate 95% for Blockstack, and like for Libra is almost 100%. So,
Okay,
so
so
you can
Blockstack
see
scored 95% plus on the technology, and Libra scored
it
how much?
scored. Yeah, I mean close to 100%. The only thing they are lacking is they are not on the main net, but they are still on the test net, right?
Yes.
We check that as well. That point, Facebook Libra is only lacking on that. Otherwise, they are like.
So Facebook Libra, technology-wise, is edging out slightly.
I mean, it's not just Facebook Libra. If you think the history of the Facebook innovations, right? They come up with everything they come up with is like solid and it works, right? They have changed the way the mobile application build as well, right? The whole they're making the whole impact to the whole world. So they come up with this React Native and those kind of things, right? It is their
Yeah, React,
babies.
JavaScript. Yeah.
And so many, I mean, such innovations, and they're giving away that to the world. And it is actually making a huge impact, before you need to write like iOS, Android's application, and now the React Native, you still have the same look and feel wise, UI wise, and most of the functionalities are also supported. So Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
it is
Wow.
this. I'm very much impressed, about the Facebook technology so far. And when they have announced the Libra, they had everything ready, right? And they just given everything to the developer. And if you see their repository, it's already been forked like more than 1,700 times, right? So not sure like what people will be doing and things will come. It will come definitely, somehow some changes, but I mean it can't be stopped totally.
Yeah. Now
It
the
is
question
like
is, how soon before people start forking Libra to make their own cryptocurrency?
I mean, yeah, if anyone wants to do it, they can do now as well, but I'm not sure, what will be the legal implication and all, right? But is everything is out and open source, so people can just do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Paresh. Okay. So we've covered the projects we're looking at.
If I can,
Yeah. Go ahead.
just, I'm sorry, if I can just add something to the technical analysis of technologic analysis of Paresh, Libra has also like I would say like steered a lot of I would say government anger.
Issue, yeah.
Yes, exactly. There's lots of
I mean, it is so obvious, if Facebook comes out, I mean, people don't need banks. They don't
exactly.
need government, right? They can like literally control the whole financial ecosystem, and that is their goal. So they are basically banking the unbanked people, and all you need is literally the phone with the data connectivity, and you have access to everything, basically the Libra.
Yeah, Facebook have a lot of power.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay. So let's take a question from the audience. We have a question from Barry. This is for you, Raphael. Well, actually, all of us, but mainly Raphael. Do you invest in precious metals like gold and silver? Bullish on these as an additional hedge against fiat?
Yes. So yes, definitely. Actually, I trade gold. Gold is a great asset right now. It's basically because we are in a, I would say, markets are tumbling. There are a lot of rising tensions between U.S., China, a lot of uncertainty. The market has seen a bull run and very extended bull run. Like for example, if we have a look at the Nasdaq 100, so the tech index. Well, this has been incredible. We were 2 years ago in 2016, so 2016, so 2 years and a half ago, we were at around 5,000, and right now we are at 8,000, and well, near 8,000. This is impressive. We have like an almost a 40-50% on the indices all over the planets, but especially the United States and of course Japanese indices. We have, it's an incredible amount of equities being bought, and this is absolutely This is absolutely massive. So gold is gold is great right now because we are seeing this market risk coming in. Okay, so the US-China war has really being pretty harsh. Okay, this is putting a lot of pressure on equities. We don't know how exactly this is going to be solved. We see Trump's keeping putting tariffs on China, on Chinese. There's also this uncertainty that the markets traders, they hate. It's about not knowing exactly what is going to happen. It's like one day we have this tweet, because this is very funny to talk about trading and tweeting at the same time, but yeah, Trump is the first president that has been using it as a weapon. And so we have these tweets about the China-US trade talks that are going well, and then 2 weeks after this, we have another tension, another rise in the tariffs. So the market doesn't like it. The markets don't like it. Markets don't like it. Traders don't like this, so they hedge. And gold is a great hedge for this. We have always seen I would say funds hedging their position in equities, in riskier assets with gold. Gold is a great hedge that is being used at the moment. So definitely gold, silver are, as long as this market risk, is going to stay, as long as there are going to be uncertainty and people not knowing exactly where markets are going, what those actually huge powers are going to make, how actually they are going to solve their tensions. So yes, gold and silver are going to be bought heavily. There's one last thing also about gold, and this is also why we've seen those very big moves up. Gold right now is being bought by central banks. Central banks are actually the monetary policies right now of the central banks, especially the Fed, the European, Japanese, is historically, we have never seen this. Even, for example, after the subprime crisis, we thought that it was an impressive amount of quantitative easing and cash being poured into the market. But right now, with the quantitative easing that keep going on, the interest rate that start to be cut, so they are backing their policies with gold, and this is why we've seen the gold going from 1,300 to 1,350, 1,400, 1,500 in no time. And we have a look. The gold prices are way stretched, way overextended, way overbought, for example. But you don't see any sign actually of pullback. You don't see it. No, it stays there. There is this kind of strong support in the 1,500, and it doesn't want to go there. And every time there is a pullback below this line, it's being bought. So no, those are great assets right now, and they are going to keep being used as hedges for now.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Okay. Now, Paresh has to unfortunately leave. Any last words you want to share with us, Paresh, before you head out?
No, I think.
Nope. Okay. I mean, so actually
watch out for my videos.
Okay. Let's take one last question then for you.
Sure.
What long-term alts do you like? And obviously, this is not financial advice. Let's say purely from the technology.
I mean, I never like to comment on coins. I personally asked Raphael, just a couple of
Let's rephrase that. Let's say, what technology do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still bullish on the Bitcoin, Ether. I kind of like BNB, right? So most of my portfolio is Bitcoin, Ether, BNB, and Nex.
Yeah.
Right, those
Okay.
kind of things.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Paresh. And where can people find out more about you?
Right. So I mean, yeah. So in Token Metrics blogs, I have all information: LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Twitter.
So
Right.
yeah, actually, I can share that.
Twitter. Yeah.
Okay, whoops, that's not what I want. Okay, that was. So guys, yes. By the way, definitely make sure you subscribe to our Token Metrics website to get updates on Token Metrics when it's launching. We'll be launching with early beta test, right? But we already have the social media channels up, right? So if you're watching this, hopefully you're watching this from the YouTube channel, right? If you're watching this from my old channel, where I'm still posting that right now, but I'll stop doing that and do everything now under Token Metrics. So make sure you subscribe on the YouTube page. But this is our blog where we have Raphael posting pretty much daily TA, 5 days a week, right, on different cryptos, right, from Ethereum, Bitcoin, right, to the cryptos that are most active that day, right? And we have all his analysis here, right? Then we also have Paresh did post, I believe, the block stack review somewhere here, if I can find this, right? Let me just show this in Paresh can leave. So he did post like a short or brief outline or notes on block stack, right? And you guys can find Paresh here, and his info is here. Right. Then we'll be posting more content on the Token Metrics YouTube channel. Right. So definitely make sure you subscribe. We'll post the videos Paresh has done for Facebook and Libra. And then what's the next project you're looking into?
Casper Labs.
Casper Labs. Right. So he'll be doing deep dives with the technology. Definitely make sure you follow him there. His Twitter as well is there. And make sure, guys, you go to our website, tokenmetrics.com. We have a landing page where you guys can enter your email to get emailed when we have news updates. And here are all the socials, right? So join our YouTube page here, our Twitter here, Facebook, our Instagram, our Telegram as well, and LinkedIn. Yes, we do have a Telegram channel we've launched. Definitely make sure you join that. We have a alerts channel and a discussion channel, right? So Token Metrics is the future. Okay, Paresh, thank you for joining. Take care.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Okay, and then Raphael may have to go soon as well. I know it's very late over there. Any last words? Anything before we kind of wrap up the show, or do you want to keep on going?
No, we can keep going. Actually, actually, I'm saying this as if I'm free, but actually, no, I'm forced to. Jan is forcing me to. I just want people actually to be witnesses. So,
okay, all right. Yeah, well, let's take a few questions, then we can wrap up here because I also have to get going as well. It's been a good 2 hours. We were hoping on 1 hour, but it's crypto. Was time flies, right, when you're having fun.
yes, that's true. So many.
Yeah. So how about this? Let's go to the segment we wanted to cover earlier, called "Are You a Believer?" and "Don't Take the L." Right. So the idea for these segments, we're gonna cover. Basically, we're gonna say, do we think the project is good or do we think it's bad? that's pretty much it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so looking at, let me see if I can actually. Let me see if I can pull this up here. So sorry, give me a minute here. It'll be better to pull this up. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Okay, do you guys see my screen? All right. So best performing tokens of the week, right? This is, in the last 7 days, we have ABBC coin up 27%, OKB, which is the OKX token, the exchange, Matic Network, B-Box token, and Bitcoin. Are you a believer in any of these? Meaning that, are you bullish on any of these? Or is this just like a fake news or like a pump and dump?
Yes, actually. So the OKX coin is actually a pretty good one because, well, I am a believer in any coin that is being issued by an exchange. They are acting as they are actually acting as the financial, I would say, stocks in traditional assets. This is basically, you have, for example, Binance, you have KuCoin, you have the coin from UB, and this one from OKX. You are actually, this is low risk with a lot of returns with those coins, because people are going to keep, I believe, okay, we expect the flows, the amount of people that are going to exchange, so the trading volume to grow up. Therefore, the value of those exchanges is going to go up, to increase, and this people actually looking at those exchanges and want actually to have a share of their benefits of this increase in value, they are going to want to invest in the coins. So as, for example, when you see Netflix or Amazon launching a new product and having more and more subscribers, you want to buy some shares, some stocks. So it's going to be the same process, low risk, because we have an increasing demand, and they have been issuing their stocks, I would say, their coins. So no, this is very good. I'm really very bullish and very enthusiastic about those coins. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, I mean, I think this is actually a pretty good list. The exchange tokens, right? I see BBOX, OKX, but I'm not sure if me personally, if I would hold either of those. I mean, out of the exchanges, I would probably only touch BNB, obviously Binance, and BitMax. BitMax has been, it's actually the best performing exchange token for 2019. And I've had a chance to meet the team during Consensus. We went to their offices in New York City, in Times Square. And the fact that they're even opening up offices in New York City, right, means that they're really trying to, the way they run themselves, their team comes from ex-Wall Street backgrounds, from Asia and Wall Street. And they really want to become regulated, especially here in the US. So I view them almost like a mini Binance, kind of like getting into Binance a year before Binance was Binance. So, I mean, they're definitely on my watch list, right? If I had to own exchange tokens, I would probably own BitMax and BNB. Now, actually, one other exchange that is popping up, it is a futures exchange, I believe, FTT, right? I have some friends of mine who are talking about it, and they're actually investors in it. I think it's FTT or FTX. Let me see if I can pull the actual name here. Yeah, FTT. They recently got listed on Huobi, right? And it's being run or organized or done by Alameda Research Group, which is I believe a market maker that's well known in crypto. I mean, even though it's the first time I hear of them, but its performance has fared pretty well, so definitely want to watch out. But I haven't really done much research on it, so definitely take that with a grain of salt. And Bitcoin, I mean, Bitcoin is king. I mean, at this point, Bitcoin, 70% dominance, you can't really go wrong with Bitcoin, right? Yes. Matic Network, technology-wise, it's solid. Paresh loves Matic Network. I mean, our team loves it. Although it basically was a pump and dump, kind of like most IEOs, right? After the Binance listing, it did a 15x, then basically crashed. And now it's kind of having its second gust of wind as the Coinbase announcement came that they're exploring listing it, which is not something I knew was going to happen anyway, right? Because Coinbase were equity investors in that. So we knew this day was coming.
Yes, no, that's true. Actually, Matic Network I have been covering Matic Network this week because it has and you were saying this was due to speculation. We had a 70% increase in one day. That was very massive. And the volume was actually going up. This was pretty impressive. Yes, what we've been seeing after this is of course, a pullback that was definitely due. So I'm looking at it as a technical analysis perspective. So it's the coin is really I've been really subject to speculation. That's quite impressive, to be honest. So it's always a good sign. It's like what we say. It's any publicity is good publicity. It's like the same thing. When we are actually in a market where actually the volatility is going down, we're seeing liquidity that's on the altcoin. I'm just talking about the altcoin that is going down. It's always good to have this kind of movements. It seems okay. People are still paying attention to this, especially if it goes to the right side. Of course, if it goes up, everybody is happy. So yeah, not just that was interesting. So on a short-term basis, unfortunately it wasn't able actually to break its downtrend, this resistance. So that's not a good sign. Fortunately, it was heading down toward the support. So the lows of the year, like many altcoins, this is not like, we have to put this into perspective in the altcoin. This is a bearish market, and it's not doing as bad. Actually, it's doing better than others. So it's also for the time while altcoin season is going to come. This is very important to keep that in mind. You want actually to look at the coins that have been the more resilient, so that when the altcoin season comes in, people are going to look at those coins and they're going to invest in those ones that believe they are okay. They are, I would say, less risky at first. Then after this, we're going to have the same process. People are going to invest in like the major ones, the top market caps, and after this, it's going to go to the riskier ones.
Okay, all right. So let's go to the next section. Thank you for that, Raphael. Next question, we call this "Don't Take the L." All right, these are the worst performing tokens in the last 7 days. And okay, it seems Telegram crashing on me. Okay, let's do that again.
Yeah,
sure. So wow, I'm seeing U Network down 75%, Gracia down 28%, Alf, Contentos, Beam. I mean, I think all these projects I would not even touch. I mean, I was kind of bullish on Gracia a while back during the ICO, but I missed it because I was traveling. But I mean, at this point, I mean, especially when it comes to the protocols, I mean, I would say in general altcoins, I would not be in altcoins if I could. Right? The only altcoins I have now are the ones that are vested and locked up, where I can't sell. But believe me, if I could sell, I'll be in only Bitcoin at this point. I mean, Bitcoin and maybe Blockstack or Libra.
Yes, right? No, you're right. Actually, it's Egretia. You were mentioning Egretia, and yes, Egretia actually was a good coin. Was doing pretty well for some time. I think we're not done being surprised by this coin. I think this is just like I hope this is temporary. When we have a look at the how to say this coin trend, it's we had this really actually how to say this very good resilience at first when on UOB, for example, on this exchange we had this good resilience where markets were being crushed, altcoins were being crushed, but still it was still being able to sustain this 600 Satoshi levels. That was great. That was really, we had even some strong crossovers on the technical indicators that were really giving traders hope. Unfortunately, market is really impatient and they were not able, there weren't enough buyers in order to prop the volume up, and fortunately, yes, it ended up pretty bad.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so guys, if you'd like to learn more about Raphael, definitely go to the website, our blog.tokenmetrics.com. Right, he has posts that are being posted pretty much Monday through Friday. I mean, sometimes even on the weekends, technical analysis. Right now, you're averaging about 3 posts a day. Right. Then you can also follow him on our Tokenmetrics TradingView account, and also in our Tokenmetrics Telegram channel. Right. So to join the Telegram, once again, just go to tokenmetrics.com and click this link. Right, the name is just search in your Telegram, because now it's public. Now our entire group and alerts are public. So just search in Telegram Tokenmetrics discussion or Tokenmetrics alerts and join the group and share your friends. We also do have our private group. So if you would like to be a part of that, definitely feel free to reach out. Just go to my site, ianbalina.com, It should be here somewhere. And just click on contact, right? So my free mastermind is, the old mastermind is being closed. The private one is being closed. Now we have the Token Metrics as a new mastermind. But if you would like to be part of the private group, just click on the paid mastermind and fill that out. There is an interview process, so not everybody can be in. And yeah, we have Paresh in there. We have Raphael in there giving us analysis and insights. And yeah, and we'll also be, we have no idea yet exactly when we'll launch the Token Metrics platform. The idea was to launch early in the summer, around July, but we wanted to make sure it was really something of value to people, right? So we're still working on that. Let me see if I can actually give a quick preview on what we're working on here.
Yeah. The platform is really going well. Actually, I'm really proud to have been a part of this. This is really great.
Yeah. So here's a quick preview on what we're building. Right. The idea is we'll have scores for everything. All right. We'll give you the fundamental score, the technology score, which is Paresh, and technical analysis, which is Raphael. Right, on different cryptocurrencies. Right. Ignore the layout right now because it's definitely not ready to present. But yeah, this is kind of an idea on what we're building, guys. Right. This is we think a lot more dynamic than the spreadsheet. We'll be going through and basically manually scoring every single project on over 100 data points, and then getting that and feeding that into an artificial intelligence system and trying to see which metrics actually matter and creating that grade. And that's just the initial phase, right? Right now, we basically have an MVP, right? This ignore the scores for now because not everything is fully scored, but this kind of gives you an idea on what we're building, right? So we'll have ratings for all tokens, even those that are trading, right? Providing token analytics on those that are trading. We'll have IEOs, right? So we'll have our team doing IEO reviews every single week as they come out, right? Then for those who want something similar to kind of how CoinMarketCap is, right? We're working on something similar to that, right? So this is kind of an idea on what we're building. And then, which is the thing that kind of really, I think is needed, right? Is being able to kind of track your portfolio, right? And this is just a dummy portfolio set up here, but being able to track your portfolio and have different risk metrics, right? Because we know people, especially with Sparks and other products the last 1 year, I would say, you can tell people who put in a lot more than they're willing to lose, right? People who have problems with risk management, when they get mad over one single investment, because no single investment should make you that mad, right? Because when I see people like cursing me out or being angry about one particular investment, even though I tell them, hey, I'm investing in this, do your own research, this is not financial advice, right? But I understand people want somebody to blame for something, right? People want a scapegoat as opposed to taking accountability for their own actions and investments. But when somebody gets mad over one project, you know that they put in a lot more than they're willing to lose, right? So we know risk management is crucial. So it's something we're working deeply with Raphael on, like having investors really understand what they're investing in, right? From a risk perspective, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, go ahead, Raphael.
No, yes, what you're saying is very true, and this is actually a problem that is very global. Many traders, unfortunately, they really underestimate as you said, the risk management and the money management. And this is actually, to be honest, this is 90% of the job. If we can see, for example, in terms of success rates, like people, they think that actually you have to, when I say success rate, a number of positions that are going to be successful, and they think, well, the higher the better. So if you have a 70% success rate, then you're a good trader. No, actually, because, I'm going to talk about this because the exchanges on I would say the brokers on the traditional assets like FXCM was able to give a very valuable metric. Like you had more than 55% of position during the 2018 year, 55% of the position that were successful, only 7% of the traders were making money. So
come again? Hold on. Can you repeat that again?
So you have 55% of the positions on the whole 2018 year that were successful, okay, were actually a gain. and 7% of the traders, of the accounts, that were actually successful at the end of the year.
Making money. So 55% are successful, meaning that the trades are right, but they lose.
Exactly. Exactly.
They're betting too big.
Exactly. This is the problem. It's like a lot of people, they are actually betting. It's like they are, it's, I would say, an excess of confidence, and they are putting too much money. And sometimes they are right. A lot of time, it happened to me many times. I can share my own experience where you have this, for example, this asset, you think this is going to go, let's say, up, and it goes down first, all the way down before actually doing what you think it was going to do. The problem is that, because of course, well, it's like the market, has different interests than your own. So in order to make sure that you're not going to lose too much on this pullback, on this counter move, you need to set up a stop loss, and the stop loss should be not actually in terms of, you shouldn't put a stop loss regarding a level, for example, a support level, a resistance level, but actually how much are you willing to lose? Okay. And when I say you shouldn't lose too much, okay, you don't want your portfolio to be impacted like 30% on one trade. This is because people, they always think in terms of how much can I gain, but in order to make money and sustainably, and it's like, as you have done, for example, Jan, you need actually to think about the losing side. It's like, okay, so I can gain 70%, but I can also lose a lot on this trade. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very true. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. All right, guys, I just quickly showed, for those who want to join our private group, definitely make sure you join that on our website, right? Actually, we have two public group and the private group. Public group, once again, just search for Token Metrics. The private group, for that one, you have to contact me on the site or just contact my assistant, Ryan at ianbalina.com. All right, guys, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Hopefully you guys like this. If you guys want to see more videos like this, smash the like button, share this with your friends, subscribe to the brand new channel, right? That's Token Metrics on YouTube. Just search for it, or just subscribe on the website, on Twitter, Telegram, everywhere, right? To the moon and beyond, right? What did you say, Raphael? The roof is up.
Up to the roof. Okay.
Up to the roof.
The roof. It's like the moon was really an expression from crypto traders like you, like crypto holders. I've never heard that before actually in traditional assets, but that's great. Actually,
crypto definitely has a different personality, right? A different how do you say in French? Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. That's great.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Raphael. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Hopefully you guys like this live stream.